Hello, thank you for joining me. I am Jennifer Cassette, speaker, author, trainer, and host of the Loving Me Show. Today, I am going to do a review on the Fix My Life episode that aired on last night. It was about Memphis Wright, music producer in the industry. His birth name is Mickey Wright Jr. On the show, his mother had written into the show in order to get her son some help. Over 16 years ago, they experienced a loss like no other. Her husband was brutally murdered by a member of the KKK. This brought devastation to their family. And for 16 years, they have not grieved the loss of their father. And so in tonight's episode, we see how he began to break, how he began to grieve. We also discovered that his sister had not grieved the process. So as the show aired, she began to talk with his mother and found out the horrible things that happened. And found out how the children didn't get to go to the trial in order to have closure. And so then she began to talk to Memphis. And she began to ask him and tell him, do you know that your mother is afraid that you're going to die? And he didn't realize. The truth is he had been self-medicating himself all of those years. And one thing she told him, she said that you can't play the victim. He blames his ex for him losing his fame and his career. But the truth is, she told him on the show last night that it was much deeper than the fame. It was the fact that you have not taken the time to grieve the loss of your father. And when he simply said, yes, my father was murdered, she said, no, your father was murdered by a member of the KKK because he was a black man. She said that in order to make him realize the reality so that she could spark something in him so that he can begin to grieve. Throughout the show, he did begin to grieve. She began to show him the hole that he had dig himself in, and she demonstrated by having him in a hole. And she left him there and then went to go check on the other people. And when she went to check on the other people, his sister was in disarray. She had finally began to grieve the loss of her father. This family was in so much pain. But throughout the show, we saw how releasing and talking about it, how it began to open the floodgate for them to be healed. You know, the truth is, we all go through things. I have never lost someone that close to me, a mother or father. But I was once in a marriage, and losing a spouse to divorce is a grieving process. So, no, I have not lost someone to death, but when you lose a spouse to divorce, it changes your life as well. And so, from that perspective, I know what it's like to grieve. You know, in my grieving process, y'all, I felt like I was a wounded soldier on the battlefield, dying and bleeding out, and no one was coming to see about me. I laid in my bed each night for about 4 months, and I cried. And I talked to God about it because I was so broken and I was so hurt. I had been married for 9 years at that point, and it all came tumbling down. And so it was devastating to me. But I took the time to cry out to God. And I had never cried so much in my life. But that process helped me. And so I want to encourage you, whatever you may be going through, it may have been the loss of a loved one. It may have been the loss of a job that you had for years. It may have been the loss of a spouse. It may have been a loss of a long-term relationship, girlfriend, boyfriend, or just a friend that you had. If you have not grieved, I want to encourage you to grieve. Because just like Memphis, when we don't grieve, we take on other things in order to cope with that pain. And so tonight I come just encouraging you to learn how to grieve, and it's okay. We've all experienced things, and we've all been through things, and we're all going to continue to go through things in this life. But the Bible says there is a time to grieve. And so if you have not grieved, I want to encourage you to go ahead and grieve so that the things that you took on in order to cope with the pain, you can let those things go. Sometimes those things are very detrimental to us that we take on. People take on different things. And for Memphis, he took on drugs. You know, I didn't take on anything. I just cried and I talked to God about it because I knew that I needed to have that time with him. But I want you to think and ask yourself, what have you taken on because you have not grieved yet? Think about it. You know, as she stated on the show, you know, it's not as hard as you think it would be. You know, sometimes we don't think that we could get through things. We think it's too painful. But the truth is, it's painful either way. So I want to encourage each and every one of you to, if you haven't grieved, grieve. There's a time to do that so that you can truly move forward with your life. I thank each and every one of you for watching. And I hope that as you, along with me, watch the Fix My Life show, that you begin to fix your life. That you will begin to see the need in you. That you will begin to see the hurt in you. Allow this show to be a tool for your healing. I really love this show and I thank God for this show. And I really want to see everybody free. I want people to know that they are loved. That there is healing. And that they matter. So I want to encourage you, as you continue to watch the show, do your work. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.